Hi friends, welcome to my channel Go Digital Get IT right here. In this video, we'll talk about another data structure which is tuples. So tuples are just like lists. So it's an ordered collection of elements. When I say ordered collection of elements, that means there will be indexes for each elements of a tuple. Just like in list, we have index which begins with 0 from left to right and begins with -1 from right to left. Tuples follow the exact same structure. But the difference between tuple and list is tuples are immutable, which means once I create a tuple, it cannot be modified. So usually we create tuples for data where we're sure that the data doesn't change. For example, weekend. It's a weekend which it never changes. It's always a Saturday and a Sunday. They are considered as a weekend. So I create a tuple and two elements, and one is Saturday and the other is Sunday. Now this is considered as a tuple. The reason is instead of square brackets, I have enclosed it within the regular brackets or the C brackets. So once I create this, and if I want to view the elements of the tuples, I can write print tuples weekend, and this gives me the elements which I have created within the tuple. If I have to see the type of the tuple, I can do type and then pass the tuple which I just created, and that should tell me it's a tuple. Okay, now we'll create another tuple for fruits. So I call it as fruits tuple, and I add some fruits to it. For example, apple, banana, and next I will add oranges. I will add apple again, right, separated by comma. Apple again, I will have another apple followed by uh, oranges. Okay, so now this is a fruit tuple which I have just created. I need to check the elements inside it. I will write print fruit tuple. Okay, now in case I want to figure out the number of times each element occurs, so I can do that by the function count. So I'll write occurrence of uh, apples in the tuple, and here it will be followed by fruits tuple dot count, similar to the way it happens in list, dot count, and followed by the element for which I want to get the count. So this would give me the number of times apple occurs. I'll change it to banana. This is the number of times I see banana in my tuple, and I'll change it to orange. That will tell me the number of times I see oranges in my tuple. So occurrence of apples in the tuple is 3. I see 3 apples. Occurrence of banana in the tuple is 1. There is just one banana. Occurrence of oranges in the tuple is 2. There are 2 oranges.
So friends, I hope you're liking what you're learning so far. Please take a pause to like, share and subscribe this channel. This will encourage us to upload further more such videos. Thank you.
All right. So as discussed, tuples behave similar to list. Right, so if I have to get the number of elements a tuple has, so I will mention it len of the tuple, uh, fruits underscore tuple. So this will tell me the number of elements present in the tuple. Right, there are 6 elements present in the tuple. Okay, and if I have to extract certain elements out of the tuple, for example, I want to extract a third element, so I'll pass it within the tuples, and I'll pass the index 2. The reason is the third element will have an index 2 because the index always begins with 0, just like list. Right, now, by let's say for an instance, we created a tuple, and for some reason we want to make a change. So tuples are immutable, but let's say we want to make a change. Is it that we just cannot make a change to it at all? The answer is yes, we can make a change, but it will be slightly in an indirect way to make it. So let's see how we can make a changes. So I create a tuple first, and this is a tuple of flowers. So I have Rose, I have jasmine, I have lily, and these are the three flowers which I have in my tuples. All right. So now I want to make some changes. I want to add another flower to it, and let's say the flower is marigold. All right. So let's say how to do that. So first I'll convert this flowers tuple into a list. So maybe I will name it as flowers underscore tuple. Now I'll convert this flowers which is tuple into a list. So I can pass it within the list function and convert it to a list. Okay. Now if I take the type of flowers list, this will tell me it's a list. So what was a tuple has now been converted to a list. Now I'm free to make changes, right? Let's say I want to append an element which was marigold. I will simply write flowers.append. I will write marigold. Okay. Now if I print flowers list, this should have the new element marigold appended to it. Now that I have the new element as a list, I need to convert this back to a tuple. So I'll create the flower tuple again, and this time I will just convert the list of which is flower list into tuple. Now if I see the elements after I have made a change, after the elements are added, and now if I print the tuple, which is flowers tuple, I should see the new elements added to my tuple, which is marigold. Similarly, I can also do a removal of an element. So instead of append, I can make any, in fact, I can make any changes, either remove it, insert it, any kind of change as long as it is allowed as a list, make the changes, convert it back to a tuple. So this is an indirect way of making changes to a tuple.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next videos.